Okay, so if more participants are there, just let me know. So in our last class, we were mainly discussing regarding, we need to start with alcohols actually, correct? So in alcohols, I told you one thing, okay? We will tell the basics first, then we will go with the concept. Now, if alcohol is there as a functional group, what is a functional group of alcohol? We know it is OH, correct? So it is OH is present, then I can say the functional group alcohol is present, correct? Now the question here is, suppose along with the compound, along with this OH, there will be other functional groups. For example, sometimes COOH will be there, okay? Sometimes CHO will be there. These are other functional groups. But we know, according to our priority table, these groups are having high priority, okay, than whom? Than alcohol. In that case, what will happen? The OH group will behave like what actually? A substituent. Okay. So if you see this question, which among the following is an alcohol here? So who can tell me the answer here? Hmm? So if you see the first option, we will see in detail CH3, okay. Then you have CHOH, okay, connected like this. Then you have, you can see carbon double bond O, then hydrogen is connected. Now, if I look into this system, I could easily understand that here OH group is present, that is good. So, but along with that, CHO group is present, that is aldehyde, correct? So, we know if aldehyde is present, it has higher priority than carboxylic acid. Or you can think like this, any functional group which has carbon will have higher priority than carbon-less functional group. Here OH group does not have any carbon. So it is a functional group without carbon. So here surely this will have higher priority than OH. So in this case, OH group will behave like a substituent. So it is not an it is not an alcohol. Instead, it is an aldehyde. Now similarly, look at option 2. Can you tell me whether it is an alcohol or not? Can you tell me? So you can see there OH group is being connected and it is connected to CH2. Okay, you can see here this is one CH2 joint, this is another CH2 joint, this is another CH2, this is another CH2. When it is open, then it will be CH3. Then I can say how many CH2 are there? 1, 2, 3, 4. Then a CH3 is present like this. Now tell me this is whether it is an alcohol or not. Yes, because it has only OH group is present. No other functional groups are there. So here I can say this is the answer because this is the alcohol. Now if you look at option 2, you can see here free joined. So this is CH3. Then this is connected to another carbon. Okay, CH that is connected to OH. Then you have connected to another carbon where double bond O, and this is free end. So this is CH3. Now I know that this is, what is this compound here? It is a ketone. Carbonyl group is present. So it is a ketone. So it's a carbon containing functional group. So I can easily say here OH will behave like what actually? OH here behaves like a substituent. Here OH will behave like a substituent. Okay, so surely this is not an alcohol, it is a ketone. I can say this is a ketone. And first one is an aldehyde, correct? First one is an aldehyde. Now we look at the fourth option. Okay, in the fourth option, what you can see here, let's say, let me rub it. Now if you look at the fourth option, you can see one thing. For opponent is there, so it is a CH3 there, then it is connected to CHOH. Okay, then it is connected to a carbon which is having CHCN, cyanide is connected. Okay, then another free end is there here, so that is another CH3. Now I know that here also two functional groups are there. Cyanide is a carbon containing functional group, so this is the functional group here, and this is a what actually here? It is a substituent. So I can say this compound will have properties of cyanide. So my answer here is which one? My answer here is second one. Clear? Is this question clear for everyone? All of you? Okay. So I hope please reply, then only it will be easy for me to understand. Okay, all of you. So next part, the question here is which one is an ether? Okay, so we know in this chapter we are learning the heading, you can remember. Okay, the heading is what actually? Alcohols. Okay, then we have phenols. Okay, then we have ethers. Okay, now alcohols means if you have an aliphatic part, usually alcohols are something where you have an alkyl part that is connected to OH group. They are called alcohols. Phenols means if you have the benzene ring, very important, if the benzene ring is directly connected to OH. If the benzene ring is directly connected to OH, they are called phenols. And ethers means very simple, from the alcohols, if you are replacing the hydrogen by another alkyl group, they are called ethers. They can be aliphatic ethers or aromatic ethers. In aromatic ethers, what will happen? The benzene ring will be connected to oxygen like this. Okay. So this is alcohols, this is phenols and others. So even phenol is an alcohol, but it is called aromatic alcohol. Okay. So if OH group is directly connected to benzene ring, we call that as phenol. Now tell me which one is an ether here. Okay. Now first option, if I am checking, you can see here CH3, then CH2, CH2O, then CH3. So if I draw there, you can see here CH3, CH2, okay. Then you have another CH2, then this is connected to oxygen, then CH3. Now looking at this, I can easily say that here this is an alkyl part, correct? So this is an R part and this is another alkyl part, so R dash. So I can say that RO R dash. So this is clearly, it is an ether. Clear? Now looking at the other one, you can see there is a benzene ring, okay, and that is connected to oxygen and that is connected to R. So I can easily say that it comes under mixed category of ethers. You have both aromatic and alkyl part is there. So this is also an ether. Just to check whether O linkage is present like this. Now next look at the next one, option 3. You have CH3, then you have CH, and this is connected to oxygen and this is connected to another CH2. So you can see here CHO, again O linkage. So this type of ethers are called cyclic ethers. This type of ethers are called cyclic ethers. So the answer is which one here? All of you please tell me what is the answer here. First one is an aliphatic ether, second one is a mixed ether, third one is a cyclic ether. So answer is all of these. Is this question clear for everyone? Hello? Okay, let's go to the next question. Okay, now tell me the answer for this one. Which one of the following is a phenol here? Can you tell me? So phenol means we directly know OH group should be connected to benzene ring. So here OH group is connected to benzene ring. Good. And NO2 group is also connected. We know NO2 group is a substituent. NO2 group is a substituent. So in this case, I can say this is an phenol. This is a phenol derivative. Now in the next option, you can see OH group is directed to benzene ring. That is good. But there is a CHO group is also connected to benzene ring. I know that CHO group has higher priority because it is a carbon containing functional group. Okay. So surely here OH will behave like what? As a substituent. So I can say this is more of aldehyde nature. Okay. Here you can see OH group is not connected to benzene. It is connected to an aliphatic chain. So it is not phenol. It is a special compound that is called benzyl alcohol. You should remember what is benzyl. In exam they will ask this question. Whenever benzene ring is coming along with a CH2 group like this is called benzyl. This is called benzyl. Similarly, in the last class, you might have learned in last chapter, CH2 double bond CH, single bond CH2. What is this is called? This group is called what? Tell me. I told you in the last chapter, this is called allyl. Okay. And similarly, we have something like this, CH2 double bond CH single bond. So what is this group is called? This is called vinyl. These things you should remember. Okay. Now, if you see here, last one, you can see OH group is connected to benzene ring. Good. But we can also see cyanide group is also connected. We know that cyanide has high priority because it is a carbon containing functional group. So here OH group will behave like what? It will behave like a substituent. So I know from this the answer will be option 1 because here OH group will behave like a functional group and NO2 will behave like a substituent. Clear? Is this question clear for everyone? Hello? Hello, dear students.
Yes, sir.
Good. So let's go to the next question. This one. What is the IUPAC name of this compound? So next we will learn little about IUPAC nomenclature of alcohols. Okay. So if you say IUPAC nomenclature, I can say that alcohol, okay, if alcohol is the compound, the suffix we use, okay, the suffix we use is ol. Okay, and the prefix means whenever it behaves like a substituent. Suffix is used when it behaves like a functional group. We know that when higher groups are present, it will behave like a substituent. When it behaves like a substituent, we use the term hydroxy. Okay. Now, in this question, let us draw this question. We have CH2. There is another CH2. Okay. And this is being connected to OH. And this is also connected to OH. So, this is the question. Now, we need to name the compound. So, we know that first step is identifying the longest possible parent carbon chain. So, this is the one. Then we need to number it. If we number in any way, it will be the same since it is symmetrical in nature. Now, for naming a compound, we know the format. There will be word root, correct? Then there will be 1 degree suffix, okay? Then there will be 2 degree suffix, okay? Then before word root, we will have prefix. So there will be 1 degree prefix and we have 2 degree prefix before that. Now tell me, what is the word root here? Word root indicates the number of carbon in the parent carbon chain. So we know that there are 2 carbon atoms are there. If 2 carbon atoms are there, the word root used will be eth. Okay. Now 1 degree suffix means how these 2 carbon atoms are linked. Whether it is through single bond, double bond or triple bond. We know that they are linked through single bond. If it is single bond, we use the term ane. Okay. So 1 degree suffix is over. Now 2 degree suffix means the functional group. So we know that they are present at positions 1, 2. So ethane 1, 2. Since 2 are present, we use the term di and 2 degree suffix is this one, ol. So we use the term ol. Now 1 degree prefix is applicable only for cyclo compounds and 2 degree prefix is coming if there is a substituent, but here in this case there is no substituent. So my name is ethane 1, 2 diol. So the answer is option 2 should be the correct answer. Is this clear for you, all of you? Hello?
Yeah.
Good. Let's go to the next question. Okay, now the IUPAC name of this compound is, now we know that this is an ether, right? So ether, let's draw the ether. CH3 is there. Okay, then you have CH2 unit, CH2. Then you have another CH2. Okay, then you have oxygen. Then you have CH2 unit is there. Then free end is there. Then that is CH3. Now, while giving the IUPAC name of ethers, it should be always, it is always of the format alkoxy, alkoxy alkane. This is the way usually we name it. So here alkoxy means the first step in doing the nomenclature is identifying the longest parent carbon chain. Okay. So if you see here, if you go in this way, 1, 2, 3, 3 carbon atoms are there. But if you go in this way, 1 and 2, only 2 are present. So I can say the longest one present here is this one. So I will choose this as my parent carbon chain. Okay, after choosing the parent carbon chain, I know that this alkoxy part is the substituent here. So here you know that here along with O, what is coming? CH3, CH2. Two carbon atoms are there. If two carbon atoms are there, we use the term eth. So here alkoxy means it will become ethoxy because this is the substituent part. Now ethoxy we have written. Now next thing is how many carbon atoms are there in the parent chain. So we numbered it 1, 2, 3. So 3 carbon atoms are there. So we use the word root prop. Okay, and they are linked through single bond. So we use the term ane. So the answer here is ethoxy propane is the correct answer. So we can say option 3 is the correct answer. Is this clear for everyone? Hello?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. Now some students used to ask me one doubt. Sir, what will happen suppose if there is a substituent is there like this. CH3, CHBr, okay. Then CH2 and remaining thing is like this, CH3. And they will ask me, sir, what is the name of this compound? It is like similar way, identify the longest parent carbon chain here. Okay, on the left side and right side of O. Here on the right side, you can see here only one carbon atom is there. But on the left side, you can see here 1, 2, 3. So I can say this is my parent carbon chain. Now numbering, I should choose in such a way that the substituent should get the lowest number. So 1, 2, 3. Now we know that the common method is alkoxy alkane. So here alkoxy indicates the other part of oxygen. So here what is present? One carbon atom. So I can say this is nothing but meth. So I can say methoxy. Okay, methoxy. Then it is normal way. Now come to the other part. We know first who will come? 2 degree prefix will come. So that is substituent. So we can say 2-bromo. 2-bromo. Then 1 degree prefix is not applicable. Then comes the word root. 3 people are present. So we say prop. And they are linked through single bond. So we say propane. So the answer here is methoxy 2-bromopropane is the correct answer. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now let's go to the next question. Okay. Now, can anybody try it out and tell me what will be the answer for this question? IUPAC name of this compound. So here again you can see one thing. What is that? You can see that you have a benzene ring. Okay, benzene ring is there, and into that oxygen is there, and you have CH2, CH3 or C2H5. Now I know that right side only 2 carbon atoms are there. On the left side 6 carbon atoms are. So this is my parent. Okay. Now we know the common way is alkoxy. Okay, alkoxy, alkane if aliphatic part is there. But here benzene is there. So instead of alkane, what will come? Benzene will come. Now what is this alkoxy? We know that there are 2 carbon atoms are there. So this will be ethoxy. Then you have benzene. So the answer is ethoxy benzene. So option 4 is the correct answer. Ethoxy benzene will be the correct answer. Clear? Okay, we'll go to the next question. Next question is a very beautiful question. Which among the following shows tautomerism? Okay, so how many of you know regarding tautomerism? So just I will give you an idea regarding that. Okay, so you will get a fair idea. Just I can say tautomerism. tautomerism. Okay, it comes under the category which one? It is a type of structural isomerism. Structural isomerism, because the structure is going to change. Now, how the tautomerism happens? Before I say tautomerism, I should say tautomerism can be of different types. But in our syllabus, we need to learn mainly a type of tautomerism that is called ketoenol tautomerism. Ketoenol tautomerism. So what is this ketoenol tautomerism? Let's say I will explain that. So I will draw a ketone here, CH3, okay, C double bond O, then CH3. This is called a ketone, or it is called dimethyl ketone or acetone. Okay. Now, the best way to understand this is, if your carbonyl group, okay, if your carbonyl group is present and the carbon atom attached to this functional group is called alpha carbon, and this carbon is also attached to this carbonyl group, so this is also called alpha carbon. So first point you need to check here is, if the alpha carbon atom is sp3 hybridized. This is the first point to check. Next thing you need to check here is, if it is sp3 hybridized, whether it has alpha hydrogen is present. If alpha hydrogen is present. So if these two conditions are satisfied, then I can say this compound will exhibit tautomerism. Now here, what is alpha hydrogen? The hydrogen attached to, okay, I will say that hydrogen attached to, correct, hydrogen atom attached to alpha carbon. Okay. Now if I am seeing here, the two alpha carbon atoms are there. So how many alpha hydrogen atoms are there? Can anybody tell? How many alpha hydrogen atoms are there? Here 3, here 3. 6 alpha hydrogen. Now next we will try to see how it will exhibit tautomerism. Let's try to see that. I will draw that. Let's wait. Okay. So suppose you have a ketone that is present like this. Then this is called keto form of this compound. Now if it wants to migrate to enol form, what it will do is, it will shift the double bond to any of the alpha carbon atom like this, and any of the alpha hydrogen will migrate towards the oxygen atom like this. So what will happen here? CH3, then here one bond is migrated and hydrogen came here, OH, and double bond will come here because the bond is moving to here, and you have CH3 like this. So this is called enol form. Why it is called enol? Because this carbon atom is connected to double bond, so it is called ene, and at the same time it is connected to oxygens ol. That is why this is called enol. So this type of existence, coexistence between these two is called ketoenol tautomerism. So the two conditions you need to check here is whether the alpha carbon atom is sp3 hybridized, and whether if alpha hydrogen atom is present or not. Okay. Now from the given questions, how we can do this question? Okay, I will give you some more examples for practice, then we will switch to this question. You need to tell me the answer. Okay. Suppose you are given a question like this. Okay. So beautiful question. Can you tell me this compound exhibits ketoenol tautomerism or not? This is nothing but acetophenone. Can you tell me whether this compound exhibits ketoenol tautomerism? You can think like this. This is alpha and this is also alpha carbon atom. I know that this alpha carbon atom is sp2 hybridized, so I cannot consider this. But this one is sp3. Okay, and it has 3 alpha hydrogen atom. So if at least one is present, then it can enter into enol form. So this compound will exhibit ketoenol tautomerism. Suppose they have given like this. Okay, instead of this question, they have given like this. Think like this. Okay, like this they have given. Hmm. Now we know this compound is benzophenone. Now if I am looking at this carbon atom, this is sp2 hybridized, and even this one is also sp2 hybridized. So I know that there is no alpha carbon atom which is sp3 hybridized. So this will not be existing. This will not be showing ketoenol tautomerism. Understood? Now there can be questions they will be giving like this also. I will give you another example question. Okay. Let us say like this. So you have a compound like this, CH3, CH3, okay. Then you have another CH3. Then this is connected to carbonyl group, and this is connected to compound like this. Whether this compound will exhibit ketoenol tautomerism? Analyze and tell me. So I know this is my carbonyl group. Okay, I understood this is my carbonyl group, and I know that this is my alpha carbon atom, and I know that there is no hydrogen atom attached to this, even though this is sp3 hybridized. First condition is satisfied, but second condition, alpha hydrogen, no alpha hydrogen here. Here also sp3 hybridized, but all are connected to another carbon atoms. So here also no alpha hydrogen atom. So I can say this compound will not exhibit ketoenol tautomerism. Clear? Now let's try out this question. I have given you examples. Now in this question, if you see, question is very generic in nature, but from the options we can get the answer. So they have given alcohols, phenols, ethers, and anisole. So they have given phenol. Phenol means, you know, that benzene ring, okay, benzene ring with the OH group connected to it. Okay, benzene ring with the OH group connected like this. But if you see this compound very closely, you can see one thing. First thing we think like, okay sir, this will not exhibit, but if you see this closely, you can see one thing. What is that? Here you can see OH group is connected to a carbon atom. Okay, that is, OH group is connected to a carbon atom, and the same carbon atom is connected to double bond. That means this is an enol basically. So how it can exhibit, go to keto form? H will migrate to this carbon atom, at the same time double bond will move to here. So what you will get? You will get keto form like that. So in exam, it's not mandatory every time they will give keto form. They can also give enol form like this. So let's do that migration and you will understand. Okay, so here double bond O will come. Hydrogen has migrated to here. So here now 2 hydrogen atom will come, and the other bonds are remaining untouched. But we know that this is anti-aromatic. This species is anti-aromatic. Okay, this is aromatic in nature. So that is the reason why this is more stable and existing only mainly in enol form. Keto form will be less stable and it may be some 0.1% only. But this compound will exhibit what? Ketoenol tautomerism. So the answer is option 2. Is this understandable for everyone? Hello? Clear? All of you? Hello, dear students.
Yes, sir.
Good. So let's go to the next question. Okay, the next question here is, alcohols and ethers are what sort of isomers? So this we are learning in our first year classes actually. So alcohols we know. One example I can draw. CH3, CH2, OH. Okay, we know this is alcohol. The same compound. Now what is the molecular formula of this compound? Carbon, 2 carbon atoms are there. Hydrogen, 3 plus 2, 5 plus 1, 6. H6 and 1 oxygen atom. Now the same compound can be written like this also, CH3OCH3. Now see here, how many carbon atoms are there? 2 carbon atoms. Hydrogen, 3 plus 3, 6. and one oxygen atom. So both are having the same molecular formula but different functional groups. Here OH is there, here ether linkage is there. Correct. So I can say they are a type of what isomers? Functional group isomers or functional isomers. Okay, so the answer is option 2 is the correct answer. And similarly, if you see here, for example, if you are given compound like an aldehyde, CH3, CH2, okay, C double bond O H, this is an aldehyde. So you can see aldehyde. This compound, what is the formula? Carbon, 3 carbon atoms are there, hydrogen 3 plus 2, 5 plus 1, 6. Then you have one oxygen atom. Now this compound can even be written like this: CH3, then C double bond O, then CH3. Now how many carbon atoms are here? C carbon 3, hydrogen 6 and one oxygen atom. So both are having same molecular formula but they are different compounds. This is a ketone and this is an aldehyde. So I can say even aldehydes and ketones are actually what? Functional group isomers. Alcohols and others are functional group isomers. 1 degree amine and 2 degree amines are functional group isomers. So that we need to learn. Okay. So I hope you are understanding. So let's go to the next question. So the last question for the day. Which one will be an optically active compound? So in our first year, we are learning this optical activity. Okay. So, okay. So some students are asking the 7th sum. Whether the 7th question is not clear for you, all of you? Hello, please, you respond, then only it will be easy for me. Otherwise, I think like you will understand and I will proceed in that way. Hello, dear students. Hello.
The 7th sum once again, can you explain, sir?
Okay, we can do that. Just tell me, don't worry. 7th question, it's very simple. 7th question, only thing is that normal case, they will give the question in keto form. But in this question, they have given it in enol. Correct, because phenol, I told it's a type of isomerism. A compound can exist either in keto form or enol form, but it depends upon the stability. So usually phenol, if you see here, phenol, we know that this is an aromatic compound. Why it is an aromatic compound? If you see here, the condition for aromaticity, please revisit that. In our first year, we are learning it in the first year chapter. So if you see here, the compound is cyclic in nature. Okay. Then if you see, each carbon atom present here is sp2 hybridized. So each is sp2 hybridized means it is planar. Okay. Then you have double bond, single bond, double bond, single bond, double bond, single bond. There is a continuous conjugation is there. So that means cyclic resonance is there. Then the last condition, you see, count the number of pi electrons. Here 2, here 2, here 2. So totally 6 pi electrons are there. And this is following Huckel's 4n plus 2 pi electron rule. How will you check that? Put n is equal to 1 here. Then 4 into 1 plus 2. So totally 6 pi electron. That is what you got. So if you put any value for n and you get a particular number, and if you are getting any of that number while counting the number of pi electrons here, then I can say it is following Huckel's 4n plus 2 pi electron rule. And if all these 4 conditions are satisfied, then I can say that compound exhibits what? Aromaticity. If a compound is aromatic, then it is extra stable. So you can see here in the phenol, it is existing in enol form. Why? Because it is connected to OH and at the same time it is connected to double bond. So it is an enol, but it is also stable, correct? Because it is aromatic. But when it is converting it into keto form, what will happen? Double bond will move to here and hydrogen will migrate to that carbon atom. So you have something like this. Now you see here totally 4 pi electrons are there. And I know that if you put any number here, n is equal to 0, it will become 2 pi electron. Okay. And when n is equal to 1, it will become 6 pi electron. It will never become 4 pi electron. 4 pi electron will become only for anti-aromatic, because anti-aromaticity follow 4n pi electron rule, and anti-aromatic compounds are highly unstable. So that is the reason why here we have keto form, but it is existing in very less amount comparing to the enol form. Enol form is maximum stable, and if you see, the percentage will be 99.9, like that, the percentage. So that is the reason why here phenols, the only compound that exhibits tautomerism. But if you see alcohols and all, RCH2OH, there is nothing we can say, because it is not an enol. There is no double bond is present. So alcohols are not the answer. Ethers, CH3, any others you can take, CH3 or CH3. There is no OH or nothing. So that is also possible. Anisole. Anisole means benzene ring with the OCH3 group connected. So there is no OH group. If it is an OH group, then only I can say it is enol. So here it is not the case. So I can say phenol is the correct answer. Is this clear for everyone? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So in this question, phenol is a special compound where enol form is dominant. Understood? That is the reason why they used to ask this question. Okay, but in majority of the question, they will give the keto form, and students will always remember like keto to enol. It can be the other way. They can give enol form as the options and check whether it will exhibit keto enol tautomerism. So if it is enol, surely you know it can be converted to keto form. Correct? Okay. So I hope this session is clear for you. Next class, we will go little bit deep into the theory, its preparation and the chemical properties. Okay. Thank you. Thank you for joining. Thank you. Wish you a nice the week ahead. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you.